Hi, welcome to another lesson. You certainly remember that the menu we created in the last lesson is still not doing anything, right? If I click on any menu item, nothing happens. We will solve this with a very important WordPress concept called the WordPress Loop, the famous WordPress Loop. Before we really get into the explanation about the loop, I will show you what I prepared to speed up this lesson. Here in the index.php file, we've already added the classes related to Bootstrap. You can see here that I just added a container and a row for each section. Since we will initially only have one column inside each section, I could even remove these rows, but I will leave them in case if we need to create more columns later on. If it's not necessary, we just remove the row from the markup, okay? Well, you've already learned how to do all this. I don't think there's any more secrets for you, right? Here in the footer.php file, I did the same thing for the footer widgets div. Here at the copyright div, I made a division into two columns. I put them both inside the container and the row, of course. Otherwise, it doesn't work, as you already know. The first column has a div, copyright text, where the copyright text will be, and the second column has the menu that I left as an exercise for you in the previous lesson. So see if your menu looks more or less like mine. Actually, the most important thing here was that you learned to call the menu this way, passing the theme location the right way. In this case, what I did was register a second menu position here in functions.php and pass this string here to the theme location argument. It's very simple, you just have to imitate what I did. That was the exercise, okay? In this case, my theme location turned out to be fancy, lab, footer, menu. Yours may even be different, but you have to pay attention to the name you've created so you don't have any problems at the end of the course. Then just create the menu there in the administration. Check the correct position and add the menu items. Here in the two elements, I already added the Bootstrap column classes. Here in the first one, I said that it will have 12 columns in the extra small device. The same thing for the second element. By the time we are viewing the site on a mid-sized device, for example, on a laptop screen, the two elements will have 6 columns each. Here in the menu, I also added some special Bootstrap alignment classes. The first one is text left, and it aligns the text to the left. This means that the menu text will be aligned to the left, okay? However, since we have these other classes, text MD right, it means that the text is going to be right aligned when we're on a mid-sized device MD. During the course, you'll get used to seeing me using these size specifiers in several Bootstrap classes. They are very, very useful. And to wrap up, I've added the rules for this new menu here in the CSS file. So you already know that I will not be explaining all the CSS here in the theme. I left all the course material organized by lesson. So just download the material, open the folder related to the lesson, and copy this excerpt here from the style.css file. You have a similar look to this one. Another thing we did was create in the administration 3 new posts, post 1, 2, and 3, all within a category called blog. And if I open one of these posts, you see that there are only a few paragraphs with dummy content, nothing more. That said, let's move on to the content of today's lesson. Today, we're gonna learn how to make our theme more dynamic. It will be the first time that something really happens when we click on the menu links. So, what is the WordPress loop? Well, you certainly know what a loop is in programming. Loops are just structures that repeat a certain piece of code a number of times. They help to write less code, among other things. Inside WordPress, the loops are basically used to display the content of posts. If you search in the WordPress Codex, you'll find the explanation given by WordPress itself. Here they say that the loop is a PHP code used by WordPress to display posts. And what would these posts be? Posts are not only the regular posts, but also the static pages. For example, the About and Contact pages are considered to be posts as well, but of different type. Using the loop, WordPress processes each post to be displayed on the current page and formats it according to how it matches the specified criteria within the loop tags. Within this loop, we can ask WordPress to show the title of each post, the content of the entire post, or an excerpt from that content, the tags used, the categories in this post. All of that is done with a combination of HTML tags and PHP commands. So any HTML or PHP code in the loop will be processed on each post. So it will serve as a template to show our posts. To demonstrate what this loop would be like in practice, let's open the WordPress repository themes page. Here on the page, I'm going to look for a theme called Blog Circle. So there it is. I'm going to click More Info and then Preview. Each region is generated by the loop. That is, in practice, each one of these areas here is a repetition of a code. This code searches for the content of a post directly from the database and shows its content on the screen, according to a format defined by the creator of the theme, that is, you on the other side of the screen. In the next lesson, we'll start creating our first loop, so don't miss it. I'm waiting for you guys.